Hello everybody, it's Marie from Hayden.com. Excuse the outside noise. I've got construction one area and I've got some landscape going on another area, so bear with me as I try to do my best to communicate to you what is going on in my world. So we are currently at week 7, okay? Now what does that mean? Week 7 means that 7 weeks ago I embarked on a challenge, which was to eat as many eggs as I wanted for 10 days. Now, I will first caveat that I have been intolerant to eggs for over 20 plus years. So because I've been doing a lot of intermittent fasting, cleaning up my gut, doing various protocols to strengthen my immune system, I have noticed that I've been able to demolish a bunch of food intolerances, and it was time to see if I could reintroduce eggs. I did this a few years ago, didn't go so good, but I have a lot more knowledge and expertise as I've done a lot more research since then. So here's how it's going. So week 7, I was absolutely going out of my mind, only eating eggs every day. So as most of you probably know who do follow me, I'm a massive foodie. Like, you'll see me having the latest keto dessert or something that's made completely unusual with really bizarre ingredients. And sometimes I'm just looking for the tastiest protein that's out there. So I have a really wide range. Basically, up until now, I've always based my food choices on the foods that I am actually able to enjoy without having any discomfort. The backstory is that as a child, I was misdiagnosed with bronchial pneumonia, tonsillitis, inflamed tonsils, ear infections, and you name it, until I took things into my own hands when doctors told me I could no longer have antibiotics to cure. Well, it was never curing in the first place, so no wonder I couldn't use any of them anymore. Anyways, fast forward, I've been on an absolute mission my whole life to figure out how I can best serve my body and then tell other people how they can best serve theirs. So, this egg challenge, let me tell you, after 7 days, I was going out of my mind. I joined on this challenge with my husband, and he's amazing. He's been doing carnivore for a long time, and although he deviates once in a while just to join me on my fun episodes of choosing all these foodie traditions and fun things in various countries around the world, he is pretty much carnivore. Now, I've definitely held him up from being a true carnivore because of my love for lots of different flavors are out there. But let me tell you, I was banging on his door screaming for what I could have. So he just said, why don't you just introduce another protein? Well, I ended up introducing another protein because just the eggs was driving me crazy. So here's where things started to get interesting, is over the course of the next 7 weeks, I started to add in only proteins. So to bring it up to speed now, where I'm at, there's a beautiful type of meat from an Iberian pork called secreto or secreto. It is almost like red meat in a sense because of the way that they cure the meat. It's not white inside, it's actually pink and red. So I've been enjoying that. I've been enjoying salmon. I've tried some different types of roe, but like, it's not the type of roe that you get when you go for sushi. So I don't even know how to choose roe, but I decided that, hey, it's something different, I might as well try it. I tried chicken, which I found extremely bland after having a couple of other different things. So I did have it, but again, just it's tricky to find good chicken here. I'm in a place where meat is more along the lines of Iberico pork and some steaks. Even the minced, which they call minced here, ground, is not that great. What else can I tell you? Oh, and then in the last couple days, another food that I've struggled with and tried a couple years ago was beef. So mostly my protein has been lamb and salmon, and a cod, bacalao, we call it here. Those have been my main things that I've been enjoying. So why am I doing this? Well, I've also been diving down the rabbit hole of oxalates. And oxalates, it's a really sad thing for me because oxalates are found in matcha, and I love my matcha. Oxalates are found in chocolate. Anybody who follows me knows I've been sourcing good chocolate and haven't really found it over here in Europe, but maybe that's the reason why, because I'm not supposed to find it. So what rabbit hole did that lead me down? Well, it led me down the rabbit hole to figure out that there's actually a certain amount of oxalate that I can have. But in the meantime, I'm also realizing that because I've gone completely into proteins and the fats that associate with those proteins, that I'm actually oxalate dumping. So I don't want to confuse you guys too much on what oxalate dumping is, but I will encourage you to go and look up oxalate foods. The two I mentioned, the matcha and the chocolate, were huge for me. And currently, I'm oxalate dumping in my chest. So I was hoping that wouldn't happen, but good to explain what's going on. So This is what would happen when I was younger, is that I would go for periods of time where I wouldn't have any symptoms, and then all of a sudden I'd have these crazy symptoms. And we chalked it up later on in my 20s that it was the dairy and certain other intolerances like wheat that were contributing to my intolerances and my food reactions. So right now I'm going through what's called this oxalate dumping. So a couple of things that have happened so far is on one particular day, I don't know, rough and dirty, 3 weeks in or something. Sorry, I'm gonna cough again, pardon me. I was hoping to get through this whole video without a cough, but I'm probably talking and it's probably rattling my throat a bit. So where was I? Yeah, so a few weeks in, I noticed that I was having this crazy sensation, and it was pain that started in the low back, and it went all up and it radiated on one side of my face. It was super intense, and anytime that I would like squat down and get back up, I would feel like dizzy. So again, I thought like, okay, like let's test my blood pressure, let's test my heart rate, let's do all those things. Tested all that, that's great. I tested my ketones, my glucose levels, those were all great. So I looked further, and lo and behold, it's one of the symptoms of detox for these oxalates. So oxalates, just to break it down, quick version, like little tiny crystals that embed throughout your body, and typically they tend to attack certain places where you've already had injury. So I have different spots in my body where I've had injury over the years, and definitely these are the places that I'm experiencing. So first off, I experienced that back. That was about 24 hours-ish. I've also had really interesting bowel movements. I won't get into that now. Feel free to send me a message if you want any of this information to be like a one-on-one. I'd be more than happy to share the truth of what I'm going through. This is purely one-on-one, anecdotal. I do have a couple other clients that are joining me on this, which is pretty fascinating too, because they're a few weeks behind me because I wanted to try this first. So anyways, back to me. And so now what I'm noticing is my bowels are finally calming down, and I actually had a normal bowel movement today, hi wasp, for the first time. And my only thing going on is this thing in the chest. But here's the thing, I'm now eating beef and I'm now eating eggs. And these two things have been out of my diet for like, let's say 30 years, if not 25 years. So that's pretty fascinating to me. Normally, I would have all sorts of other symptoms. I would be bloated, I would have digestional upset, I would be probably in a lot of pain, I'd have crazy things going on. So the only other thing that's come up for me that I want you guys to pay attention if you're interested in learning more about these oxalates is my one eye, okay? It's not both, it's one eye. Over the course of the last 7 weeks has been weepy, and it gives me like this little bit of crustiness when I wake up in the morning. So it's kind of here and kind of here. There's nothing on my other side. And I found that really fascinating. And only one day out of the 7 weeks did my husband notice that my eye was actually red that day. And then it was later on that it like got rid of all this discharge. The only other thing that's kind of unusual is that I feel like sometimes there's something like in my ear, but there's nothing there. And I've taken Q-tips and I'm cleaning my ears and there's nothing there either. So these are the symptoms that I'm currently going through. So I would really like to hear from you if you'd like to do this elimination protocol, which is protein focused. Essentially, you start with one protein, you eliminate everything else in your diet, and you just start adding in a protein at a time as you feel you want to, and you take an anecdotal approach of what's going on in terms of noting your blood sugar, noticing your ketone levels, energy. My energy up until a couple of weeks ago was kind of shite. Now I do take supplements for hypothyroid, which I've now switched from a supplement for hypothyroid, which was thyroid support by Pure Encapsulations, to just iodine. I'm liking the feel so far, and I want to monitor that because of my existing thyroid. I also want to monitor my thyroid because if the oxalates are attacking my thyroid, get rid of the oxalates, and I might not have Hashimoto's anymore. Because already through all my intermittent fasting, I've crushed my numbers. I was up at like 1,300 or 1,500 for my thyroid antibodies, and I'm like down in the hundreds now. So that is freaking happy day. And that's been probably just mostly in the last 3 to 4 years since I've changed up my lifestyle and really did a lot of information seeking on intermittent fasting and hormonal health, etc. So I hope you guys have appreciated my information and bringing you up to speed on oxalates. And I'm probably going to do some more dibbles and dabbles into this oxalate. I'm definitely loading up on information from people who have experienced themselves. I'm following some different holistic nutritionists like myself, naturopaths like I've worked with before, also some scientists, some biologists, which is really cool. And I'm steering clear of anybody who's trying to sell me on a product. So be be forewarned that that won't be me. Okay, thank you so much for listening, and I really hope this helps even just one of you out there for getting yourself better educated in the world of health, wellness, nutrition, and basically steering clear of big pharma and its ability to crush our health and make us think that we need to be eating shit that just doesn't serve us and never did. Just take a look at the 1500s and get back to me. Have a fabulous day. www.mariehayden.com. Feel free to like and subscribe. I would love to increase my followers. I'm kind of lame at this whole YouTube thing, so bear with me as I struggle along. Thanks.